Welcome to the news. A pleasure as always to have you. Let's jump right in because there's a lot to cover today. First up, and I thought this was the most relevant story, Faker had his first Ahri game since the Immortalized Legend Ahri skin was released, and he still used the default Ahri skin. As we see in Kadrill's tweet here, even Faker himself isn't using the $500 skin. Just goes to show that no matter how many bells and whistles are involved, the king will always still resort to using the default one. When asked why he didn't use it, he said in this clip, quote, "I was focusing on the game and I've never used a skin before, so I'm not used to it. That's why I didn't think to use it. I still hope fans will continue to use the skin a lot." This translation comes from Jade Toki on Twitter.
네, 사실 뭐 좀 경기에 집중하느라 제가 스킨을 껴본 적이 없어져가지고 좀 익숙하지가 않더라고요. 그래서 좀 생각을 못했던 것 같습니다.
아, 그래서 네.
분들은 많이 써주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
네.
Of course, I wouldn't really expect him to change or adjust his competitive habits now just because a skin is released, but I honestly thought there might be a condition or something that was imposed on him having to use the skin to show support for it. But I guess it's interesting that there wasn't. Moving on, the League Socials team copped a bit of heat for a supposed Pride tweet. In this, we see the official League of Legends account tweet out 4 images of champions with the caption, quote, "An ally has been slayed." Said champions are Yasuo, Gangplank, Mogmore, and Slaytrox. I can't even say those names seriously. In what I think is a pretty poorly executed recognition of the community they're trying to support, these images received nothing but flack, as we can see on the screen. And these aren't just your average player. Some of the responses to this tweet were known members of the Pride community, just showing how distasteful the tweet was, almost stereotyping the people they're trying to support. Maybe a bit of reevaluation needed there. Now to break it up a bit, we have this clip of Tyler1 buying the $500 Ahri skin. I don't even need to give context here, just watch the clip.
Once it's done, I understand. Unlock now. Do I get a special animation? Is it gonna work? What? It took my RP! I better have the skin! 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 If I go here and I don't have the skin and it took my RP, I will never play this game again and I'm going to protest Riot Games.
This skin really is the gift that just keeps on giving. And just before we get into the main topic of today, if you've ever appreciated my new style of content or ever learned something from one of my videos, a sub really helps the channel out. Thank you so much in advance. I really appreciate it. So this week, we finally saw the entire official reveal of the new Vestian solo laner Aurora. And everyone, myself included, seemed to really like her. Abilities aside, which I don't really like, her actual design is cool. But it didn't take long at all for her splash art to be altered on the universe page. On your screen right now is the first or the old version of the Aurora splash art, and then this is what it got updated to. And then here is a before and after GIF provided by SpiderAxe on Twitter to really be able to highlight what exactly was changed. Notably, as user Cogito Ergo Sum on Reddit points out, was overall increased lighting, a whiter coat, lighter blue magic with an altered shape, bigger face and glasses, white sheen on her tail, more detailed boots, bigger ears and a larger left hand and right foot, more detailed wand and bigger breasts and thighs. And they weren't kidding. In a quite shocking and almost unnecessary adjustment, her upper body definitely got larger, while her thighs, while also made larger, even got this small little bump, giving the impression of more voluptuous features. Almost like the neuron activation meme we see around sometimes. So the reason this is pretty interesting to me is because I thought Riot was trying to slightly move away from the sexualization of their characters, exemplified by this old splash art of Caitlyn with cleavage showing, getting it covered in her new base splash art. But little details like this on Aurora make it seem counteractive to that goal. I do, however, think the other changes to her model made a lot more sense. The heightened expression and lighting really helped bring the emotive aspects of her model to life, and I think they were quite necessary, mirroring the changes we just covered. And of course, the fun part, the community being the community were heavily responding to the changes in a very vocal way, pointing out Riot's acknowledgement of the target demographic and of course Aurora's new thighs, as we see in the comments on your screen. Moving on from the horniness, some Rioters also shared other details about Aurora, with Reeve stating that Aurora was originally planned to be a top laner, but due to her mobility, range, and and durability was shifted to being mid-focused. Aurora was also confirmed to be on the autism spectrum. In this excerpt, we read, quote, "In our world, we have a term to describe Aurora. She's autistic. But Runeterra doesn't have a term to describe her. She's just Aurora." Many members of Aurora's dev team and of Riot overall were inspired to share some of their experiences as people on the spectrum, because for them, she was a chance to bring part of their lives to the game that they love. And lastly today, adding on to the Aurora story, Riot says if you didn't like Aurora, you might like what comes next, teasing the next few champions to be darker themed following the releases of Aurora, Hui, and Smolder. This information comes from lead champion producer Riot Lexical or Lexi Gao, so maybe we can expect to see darker champions that have been hugely popular in their release, like the Void Empress Belveth or Neferi the Hound of 100 Bytes. And just to add on to the end of the video before I go, yes, I'm aware there is a ton of streamer drama happening. I've messaged the relevant parties and we'll be covering it with people's help. Just sit tight for a little bit and we'll have a video coming in the future if everyone is cooperative. Anyway, that'll do us for the day. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and I'm going to leave you with a clip of the absolute best all-time cosplay I've ever seen. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the news video very soon.
레전드뿐 아니라 다양한 PC 게임을 언제든 즐길 수 있습니다.